I know Donnie, this is going to be his first time on here. Ebonice, she stepped away, but that's going to be one of her first times. I see Johnny Creel. I'm sure you've been on these before, Johnny, but I haven't seen you recently, so welcome back. We got a few of the crowd favorites here. We always got April showing up. Welcome. And then we have Dvorka. She is back as well. And then I see Lola and Mary. And I was going to say, I didn't recognize their names, but I wanted to make sure they felt welcome as well. Maybe it's their first time. And, oh, the real CEO, the real boss is here.
Yeah. The real boss is here. Look out! Don't mess him. He's gonna be a nasty closer. I gotta quiz him really quick. Okay, so I'm gonna put him on the spot, but in front of everybody, put you on the spot. What are the 7 key areas of business that you got to pay attention to?
Sales, marketing, technology, operations, finance, customer service, recruiting. HR.
Not bad.
Hey, that's not fair.
That
it took
is-
me
that's-
until I was in the 30s before I learned that stuff.
I was about to say, oh my God, what a great
So
start.
anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. Just wanted to introduce you to my son quick. Hope you guys are doing awesome, having a great week. This is one of my favorite sessions because for those of you that are joining us for the first time, we've been talking about geographical farming. We've taken a deep dive. We've called this series Geographical Farming, and using multi-channel marketing, to do it. So just a quick recap, one of the things, it used to be easy in the past. You could just send out a postcard and that was pretty much your farming. And maybe you ran some events locally, and there's a few other strategies. And what has happened, which is so exciting about the world today, is there's so many other ways to get in front of people, cost-effective ways to get in front of people and gain what we call mind share dominance. Okay. So Beatty, I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint here so we can dive into the topic, but share with us your version of mind share dominance and why it's so important when it comes to marketing, not to just use one channel.
Yeah, sure. So mindshare dominance actually, so that's Gary's term from Millionaire Real Estate Agent, but it actually goes back to a book from the 1980s called Positioning. And the whole idea in marketing is that you have to position your name, your brand in the homeowner's mind, because when they think of a real estate agent, if you're not one of the people they think of, then they're not going to choose you. And let me see if I can run a specific test to show you why this is so important. So one of the things that they found after doing lots and lots of studies is that the average consumer can only remember 2 or 3 brands. So we're going to test Jonathan real quickly and see about his brand recognition. Is that okay, Jonathan? I can't hear you.
Let's do it. I was going to say,
okay, great. Ready. So I want you to think about toothpaste for a moment and rattle off all the toothpaste brands that come to mind.
Oh boy. Crest, Arm & Hammer. That's pretty much what I got. I would say without having them in front of me.
Okay.
I got 2.
You got 2. So I'm going to assume that you probably brushed with Crest. Is that right?
That is. We actually just had to pick it up recently, and that's the one we grabbed.
Okay. So here's what happens. There's hundreds and hundreds of toothpaste brands out there, just like there are hundreds and hundreds of real estate agents selling in your community. But you only remember 2. And I can guarantee you, whenever it comes time to get toothpaste, it's going to either be Crest or Arm & Hammer for you, okay? And the same thing happens in a geographic farm. There's all kinds of agents out there, but those homeowners are only going to remember 2 or maybe 3 real estate agents. And if you're not one of those, you don't get the phone call. So this is the whole idea of mindshare dominance. When you do multiple touches on a consistent basis, giving them reasons why to choose you, then they start to remember you. But it's not just, quote unquote, getting your name out there. It's getting your name out there in a way that they choose to remember you. This is what the UVP, the unique value proposition, is all about. This is the touches and the texting and the following up and the personal stuff. This is where the postcards and the email campaigns and Facebook, all of these things that keep funneling them all into remembering you and why they should choose you. And that's basically, in a nutshell, mindshare dominance.
Awesome. And I'm going to be blunt about it. Using one channel or even 2 channels is not going to cut it. You'll get some results, but you're going to find yourself in a position where if you're not using text if you're not using email, particularly video with that email, if you're not using Facebook, okay, as a tool, and we're going to do a quick review on our tech stack, so you can, all the tools available for you to utilize this. If you're not using direct to voicemail, if you're not using postcards, you're not using a full stack multi-channel marketing approach, then you're not going to maximize your results. For us in particular, we love the multi-channel marketing approach because we can target the hot leads. Okay, so just for the new guests, a quick rundown. We've been talking about different mistakes. Okay, and one of the big things that we've been talking about is not understanding how to actually properly, appropriately pick your geo farm. You should check out and watch that video. We got a great strategy. Most of which 99% of agents aren't using right now to pick their geo farm. So check that out. Second mistake we covered was not having the right messaging. We do have a deep dive on what messaging actually converts. You should check that training out as well. And then also not actually having a sales and marketing plan. So we have a sales and marketing plan mapped out for you. You should have got it in your launch call. If you don't have access to it, Clara, drop the link to log into the masterclass for them, please, right now, so they can get access to that sales and marketing plan. Okay, you can see we have the whole thing laid out in detail. Consistency, it's all about consistency. Mistake number 4 is not using a multi-channel marketing approach, which we were just talking about, because it's the best and quickest way to increase conversion and to make the leads convert faster, right? The more exposure, it's all about 8 to 12 impressions, some way, shape, or form. It's what's going to increase that conversion. And let's face it, today's world, it's all about speed, right? So if we can speed up that conversion, our profits go up, and our transactions go up, and morale goes up because we're doing more transactions. There's a whole bunch of awesome things that come with doing deals with speed. And then mistake number 5 is not having the right technology. Okay, and that's what we went over largely last week. And Jonathan, I know before we dive into the topic of today, which is not having the right scripts and dialogues and prospecting tools, we have a couple huge announcements coming up. Okay, but I just want to do a quick review, Jonathan. Quick review. If you could go to V2, and I'll keep talking, and if you need a little bit of time to get it open on or V1, if some of them are familiar with V1, on the technology stack that we have available to them, and how to actually launch a multi-channel marketing approach with their database and also within a geographical farm with the leads that we've given them. Okay, so here's the thing. What's exciting about what we're talking about, one huge announcement, please write this down. I know some people are probably doing different things with Facebook marketing, okay? But we've launched a Facebook tool that allows you not to have to log into Facebook Manager and pay a third-party person exorbitant amount of fees to run your Facebook ads, okay? Bring that a simple user-friendly dashboard where you can launch all different types of Facebook ads, and anywhere from doing your listings, okay, marketing your listings, to doing a lead form generation ad, okay, to a traffic driving ad, okay, to even taking the leads that are in your database and the geographical leads we gave you when you launched, okay, and retargeting them with an ad, or putting an ad up in front of them, not even retargeting them, but just targeting them in general. And here's the best part. It's not going to cost you anything extra. And we want to do it with you. Okay, we're in beta with it right now in full transparency, but anyone who is participating in these calls, we're going to give you first access to that beta if you're interested. So in this chat, drop if you're interested in learning how to do different types of Facebook campaigns with your current subscription in this chat. And let's record those names and make sure the professional service team reaches out to them. Janet says she's interested. Dvorka interested. I'm interested. Okay, we got Tammy coming in like crazy. Okay, so I want to make sure we take pride in our customer service. So please make sure we write that down and get back to them. I want to also set expectations. Okay, this is in beta. Okay, we're giving you access to it for 2 reasons. Number 1, we want you to help us test it. Right? We've already done a ton of testing. Don't get me wrong. But number two, have a little grace. Okay, if things aren't working perfectly, just have a little grace because it is in beta, but the positive side is you're going to get access to it first before anybody else. It's one of the most unique tools in the industry, and we're really, really, really excited about it. Okay, so Jonathan, real quick, let's go through the tech stack if you're ready.
Sure. Do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, let me get off here so you can share your screen.
Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay, so you guys should be able to see my screen here. I'm going to do a little bit in V1 and a little bit in V2. And for anybody who wants to participate in the new Facebook ad beta, Dvorka, I've got your name in here already. I've got you all set up and ready to go. And for everyone else, I'm going to see if I can get you all access by the end of today. And then actually yesterday, I recorded a video on a step-by-step on how to start testing it out and utilizing it. So I'll make sure you all get that. So keep an eye on your inbox. It'll be in what we call a Loom, L-O-O-M video, where it's me talking through and clicking through each step of it. So I'll make sure I get that to you all as well if you want to start testing it out even before the weekend here. So I can get that taken care of for you guys. And back to the tech overview. In version 1, you're always going to start out at the dashboard here, but where we like to focus is in the communications tab. And if you've recently gone through your launch call with me, you're going to know this is one of the biggest things we touch on is how to send out a one-off or a specific campaign to a targeted group of leads. So you're always going to want to start out right here in the communications tab. Across the top here, you can add your leads one at a time. Type in simply their name and they'll pop up if it's a small list. Or what we always suggest is utilizing your saved filters. If you remember in your contacts tab, you also have saved filters. And this one here, they will be the same. So say you wanted to send out a campaign specifically to your hot and warm leads. You would simply select those and they will all be added to the system here and be CC'd from each other. After that, you simply just click, select your subject line. And then on top of that, you could also go down here and start writing in the body of this email. I'm about to show you the same process here to do it with texting, but this is going to be specifically for email right now. And the coolest feature, my personal favorite right here, and Donnie, I know you've been using this one as well, it's going to be the video button. And if you click this right here, as you can see, there's already one video stored in the library. You can simply add it to the email just by hitting this insert button right there. It'll play in the body of that email just like BombBomb does. Or if you'd like, you can record a video and it will prompt you for either 2 minutes or 20 seconds. And these are, you can go a little bit longer if you would like, but these are the best practices right here to keep videos to around this length. So emails, you want to keep it right around 2 minutes, if not a little bit less. Text messages, you want to keep it to right around that 20 seconds as well, just to make sure you get the maximum delivery. And then say you wanted to send out some text messages in coordination with your email right here. You can simply go to the texting center, select groups of contacts right here. And then over here on the right side, you can simply start typing in whatever you would like, and you can send out these campaigns to any group of contacts at a time. On top of that, you also have your video management tool right here. If you ever wanted to take your videos with you or even see how many people have watched one, this video right here already has 131 views, and it was done just a little bit earlier this month and sent out to the database. That's 131 more people now who know about her brand and know about what she was, well, this was actually a specific campaign she was running and are now fully aware of it. So you have full access to these. You have 2,000 text messages a month, as well as 20,000 emails at your disposal that you can send out videos in both mediums, utilizing those right there. And then for anyone looking to utilize the new Facebook tool, you're going to go to this banner across the top right here. It's going to say, take me to the new version of the CRM and marketing solution. It'll look like this. It's going to be a little bit of a different view than you're used to, but it's going to be one that's just as easy to use once you get to know it. It's going to go right here to the ad portal. And then inside of here, you can do Facebook ads, where I'll show you on a very high level on what types there are, but then I want you guys to watch that video I'm going to send, because there's a very in-depth process of what you can use this system for. Granted, it's very easy just to do it at a high level, but we want to make sure you're maximizing everything you're doing with it as well. So I'll show you the very high level now. You can go in here and create your first Facebook ad. I always choose to do my own ad because right now in the market, you're probably not looking for more buyers. If you are, you can definitely use that style of template right there. But if you're looking to do real lead generation, seller leads, promotion, gathering information from people, I use this one right here. And then once you get inside of here, you can choose to utilize video or an image for the type of ad you want to run. As you can see over here, they'll show you a preview of what it looks like as well. And then once you select these, it jumps into the customization phase. So that's going to be where my video picks up. It's going to show you not only how to get here, but also how to navigate from this point on and filling in the best pieces of information possible. There is, even in the video, you'll see a couple of little hiccups there where I couldn't show everything at the very final stage only because it does show billing information and credit card information that, of course, you want to keep private. But everything leading up to that, short of one click of a button to turn it live, is all in that video that I'm going to send over to you guys and put inside of the Facebook group today for anyone who wants to utilize it.
Awesome. That's great. So I'm going to open it up just for a quick question or two before we move on to today's topic, using the right scripts and dialogues for prospecting and following up with a geographical farm. Here, and if you're, while questions might be coming in, I just want you to think about a few different things, because if you're anything like me, okay, I need things simple and they got to be user friendly. And if they're not simple and user friendly, I'm probably not going to engage with it, and I'm probably just not going to do it no matter how cool it is, right? And so when you're using this tech and our tech stack, what I would encourage you to do is take advantage of the sales and marketing specialist that comes with your package. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, so for those of you that have been with us for a little while, this got rolled out when after you purchased, and you got it included for free. And those of you that are brand new with us, okay, we have a sales and marketing specialist that has been assigned to your account. So you should be able to see my screen here. Jonathan, can everyone see the customer service and support guarantee?
Yep.
Okay. So we want to touch base with you once a month. So we're working on a program to touch base with you once a month. We have set up what we call done with you working sessions. Okay. These are on-demand working sessions where you contact support. So Clara, drop that in, support@rapsuccess.com. And you just say, hey, look, I want to set up my Facebook marketing campaigns. Can I set up a working session? And we'll do it with you. Your sales and marketing specialist will actually do it with you. Okay. And if you need more support after that, you can set up a one-on-one strategy session. And what we have coming up, we're still finalizing the date here, but in September, it's either going to be a 1 day or 2 day, what we call a 1 day or 2 day intensive. Okay. Where there are going to be some outside clients that are going to be joining me in this 2 day intensive with my partnership with Club Wealth and some other partnerships that I have. But really, these workshops are for you, where we pick like Facebook or we pick texting, and we take a deep dive into a particular topic and run that topic through until it's so ingrained into our business that there's nothing else to talk about, and we're actually executing in that working session. Okay, so it's part of our support guarantee. We want to be there for you. Take advantage of your marketing specialist. And also, if you're like, hey, look, I love this workbook concept. I love this idea. I love what you guys got going on here, but I got to make sure I execute on it. Remember, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we go live every day on Facebook, and you can join on Zoom. And we're doing it. We're actually implementing a different marketing strategy within that workbook live to support you in the Ren Success community. So make sure you're tuning into that. Okay. And with that, if there's no questions that came in, I'm going to transition into talking about making sure that these geographical leads are converting into listings. So did we have any questions come in, or are we okay to transition here?
It looks like we're good to transition.
Okay, great. So I love technology. I love marketing. But at the end of the day, if you think about the funnel, and top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, what's the number one reason a geographical lead that's ranked hot and that's been interacting with you through email or text, assuming everything's working and you got Facebook ads up in front of them, what do you guys think the number one reason why that lead won't convert into a listing? I want to have some interaction. Number one, number two, and maybe number three reasons. Let's talk about those. Anybody have any guesses in our crowd? They're just tire kickers? Okay, that's fair. You're definitely going to get, you're definitely going to get some tire kickers, right? Some people that are not ready to go. That's fair. Okay. What else we got? Any other reason? Well, I would submit to you that too much contact or too little. That's a really good one, Mary. That's a really, really good one. So it's either too much or too little contact, and most likely what we find in our industry, there's too little contact. There's not enough consistency, and behind that, if there's too much contact, we're depending on technology to do most of the contacts for us, but we're forgetting the most powerful tool that we have at our disposal, and that's the ability to prospect, pick up the phone, or make a contact ourselves. And so here's the thing: when we go through this mistake, I want to be clear. I grew up in an environment where I cut my teeth on cold calling. I started off doing it for Northwestern Mutual as a prospector, and then I ended up getting involved in a marketing company. I built out a 60-person inside sales team, and then in real estate, we built. I think we had our inside sales team up to, at one point, as far as our inside sales team prospecting on geographical farming and for sale by owners and expireds, we had 70 inside sales agents, right? So I am huge on prospecting, and it's tremendous value. And if you look at the inner workings of an organization, they're either spending a ton of money on lead generation and just getting the low-hanging fruit, and that's why they're hitting their goals, or they're well known in the community, right? Or they're good at prospecting. And so I would submit to you, imagine the power if you have all three of those coming together, right? Where you have your referrals working, and you develop a culture of prospecting, where prospecting becomes not just I think I should do it, but it becomes a must. And so I just want to, for some of us, there's some phone fear. For some of us, we just don't like doing it. For some of us, we don't have time doing it. But I would submit to you, whether it's you or you hiring somebody else to do it, okay, prospecting has to be a key component of your multi-channel marketing approach. It has to be there, or else the leads are not going to convert, okay? You can't. So let's define prospecting, okay? What is prospecting? And and anybody, and I want to, and actually for this conversation, okay, I want to introduce our panelists here. We have Christina, who is our team leader of the inside sales team. We have Ron Mazza, who is the broker of record for our brokerage and my partner. We have Beatty Carmichael, who has done geographical farming for hundreds and hundreds of agents across the country. And then Jonathan, who is our professional services manager, to make sure it all runs the right way for this conversation. So I want to kick it off, Christina. When it comes to prospecting, and really particularly with geographical farming, okay, if somebody's interacting with the leads and you see the emails and the texts kind of opening up, how soon are you contacting them?
So this is if we have them in the database and they've already started to interact with us a little bit. Yeah,
let me back up a little bit. So I used to be a pure cold caller, and that's what I did. I teach it differently now, and I do it differently now. And we're transitioning as an organization where we make a smart call. So if and what I mean by a smart call, folks, is you have an angle of some kind. Meaning, like, you're in your introduction, maybe they've already gotten a postcard, maybe they've already gotten an email, they've already gotten a text message. And usually it's a lot different type of call than if you were just to go in and they've never seen your information, never heard of you, never gotten anything from you. So rule number one when it comes to prospecting, I highly recommend being smart about it and making sure, whether it's you or an inside sales agent or some other hired gun, or maybe somebody in your group, okay, is to make sure that you're leveraging the technology, and the first contact they get is not a phone call. Okay. Rule number 1. Okay. So Christine, do you want to expand on that? So
Absolutely. I appreciate the further insight on that. And actually, we've been talking a lot about this in our 9 o'clock session that we've been doing with folks. Utilizing the CRM to really lay the groundwork and start off on those drip campaigns, so that when I then take that step to call, it's a little warmer, and people aren't so standoffish. But working with a geo lead, you really have to, I almost refer to it as kind of tiptoe your way in, rather than when you're looking at a FSBO or an expired. They're expecting those calls, where our geo leads aren't, or the circles prospect, or however you have your areas set up, they're not necessarily expecting those calls. So you have to let them know who you are and why you're calling right up front, very carefully, and start to build that rapport right out of the gate. Because that is critical. And if they've been warmed up a little bit by receiving a postcard or a text or an email or all of the above, it's going to make that phone call a little bit easier. And that's absolutely the smart way to go, because when they are ice cold, that wall goes up, and it's hard enough to get over the wall. And if we can lay that groundwork beforehand, it makes connecting them a lot easier, for sure.
awesome. So I got a question for you guys, and let's talk about getting the door and developing relationships with our geographical farm. How many people have buyers that you are having a tough time to find a home with right now? How many, like, just by a show of chat, like how many people, like, you just wish there was a certain property available in a zip code, right? And you're just like, I can't freaking find a buyer for this, or a house for this person.
Maybe there were 10 of them available.
Right. So here's an idea for you, and it leads into prospecting. It's a way to get in the door. Okay. But what I want you to do is, if they have specific zip codes, I want you to contact our team, and I want you to get geographical data for those zip codes. We're going to do it complimentary for you, just because you're participating in the program. You're obviously serious about making it work, or else you wouldn't be on here. So Jonathan, I don't want to charge them for these geo leads. Okay.
Sure.
I just want to give them to them. And I want you guys to try something. Upload those geo leads. And then if they want to rank them, Jonathan, or re-rank, we might have to talk through that. But simply send an email and a text out to them, and let them know that you have a buyer that's a serious, qualified buyer in the area, and is there any conditions which they would consider selling. Very simple message, right? Saying, hey, look, I'm working in the area right now. The reason why I was reaching out to you is because there's not enough inventory in your area, and I have a serious, qualified buyer. Is there any under any circumstances which you would consider buying or selling? And I believe there's Jonathan, the capability of filtering on price of home and some different things we can filter that data down by, right?
Absolutely. And I'm just keep in mind, the more filters we put on, the less data that would be available, unless, of course, everything in the area is hitting that criteria. And what I'd like to do, Isaiah, is anybody who wanted to participate in that, send that info directly to our support team. Yep. And then that way we can get it all tracked through there for you guys as well. So that way we can have it on record here too.
And what's even more powerful is if you start, developing a geographical farm, and you start getting more listings in that farm, and you're bringing more buyers back to that farm, this makes, what are we sending to the support team? So the question was, Jonathan, what are we sending to the support team?
Let's do zip codes, and then any kind of criteria that you would like for us to pull data from those zip codes from.
So if you have a buyer, what you would want is say, okay, where's my buyer looking? We'll pull data, right? We'll pull data for that area. And then we'll help you do an email or a texting campaign to reach out to homeowners in that area to see if we can pull somebody on the market, and you can get both sides of the transaction before they're even coming to the market. And if you use our behavioral analytics, we could even identify some hot leads, right? Hot ranked leads that are in that market. And now you have a strategy that is extremely, extremely powerful. By the way, when we're at the closing table, Ron, okay, and we're trying to convince a buyer to work with us, what a unique value proposition it would be to say, I have the ability to reach out to homeowners and identify people that are thinking about selling before they're even on the market. And that's what makes me unique about working with me as your buyer's agent versus somebody else. What do you think about that, Ron? And you're on mute, as a unique value to a buyer.
Well, first of all, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. First of all, what that's going to do is, number one, they've probably been fighting for houses for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe written 2, 3, 4 offers and not got them. Now you're going to show up with a house that nobody else knows about. They're going to be the first ones in if you can get them in there, and probably the one that's going to get that house, provided that you can put the transaction together with the seller. So, I mean, that alone right there is so powerful. It's amazing stuff. Because, again, in this marketplace, I don't care where you're doing real estate, it is tough to be in there before it actually even hits the market.
Awesome. Thank you, Ron.
Can I add something on this?
Yeah,
too?
please.
So I'm always looking for, how do you leverage yourself when you don't have the assets to get in there? And there's some folks on this call who are probably already targeting a geo farm, and they're saying, boy, I would love to be able to call someone up and use the approach, I've got buyers, but I don't. Well, you do. All you have to do is reach out to the other realtors in that area and say, hey, do you have any buyers looking in this area? What are they specifically looking for? And then you can use that to leverage, hey, we've got buyers. You just change the word from me to we,
Mm-hmm.
and so we get in that door as well.
That's strong. That's awesome. And it works. It works really, really well. And by the way, you've already made a connection with a realtor in advance, right? So you can go into that listing presentation with confidence that you can attract a buyer pretty quickly, right? So that's strong. That's awesome.
Yeah, they also too, if you're doing that, and the question comes up, well, yeah, you can see my house, but bring in a buyer, but I'm not going to pay you a commission. And right away you go, oh boy, well, it's very simple. You tell them, don't worry about it. I'm not asking you for a commission. My buyer's going to pay my commission. And, but also remember, the buyer isn't really going to pay the commission, because you're going to ask the seller for a concession, and that's going to come from the buyer to the buyer back to you. So just be prepared for things like that. The biggest objection when we're doing this kind of farming is, yes, you want to bring a buyer here, but I'm not paying you a commission. Just be prepared to handle that, and that's key.
Yeah, that's great. And just so you guys know, this is a 3 or 4 part training we're doing, and we're going to go over every objection that you're going to get when you're doing geographical farming, when it comes to prospecting, presenting, and closing. Throughout the whole process, we're going to go over and take a deep dive throughout this whole process. Okay, so getting in the door, we're talking about that. How many people would be interested in having sample scripts sent over to them on effective ways to get in the door and to create a conversation when it comes to geographical farming? Okay, Donnie says yes.
We got Dvorka, we got April, we got Janet. So we'll make sure, Claire, if we
Okay.
can make sure we get these names taken down, we'll make sure we get that
Awesome.
them added to the email list. Lola says yes as well.
We're gonna post these, okay, in the private Facebook group. Okay, if you want immediate access to them, go into the Sales and Marketing Academy, go to ultimatelistingmachine.com, log in, go into the Sales and Marketing Secrets Academy, and there's a prospecting playbook in there, and there's 3 or 4 scripts that give you different approaches and different angles on how to have a similar conversation when you're talking to a geographical farm. So you can go there. This is actually what the cover of it looks like. If you want it actually in book form, you can go to Amazon and purchase it if you want it in book form. Okay. But everything we're talking about is in this book. You get it for free in the Sales and Marketing Academy if you want to log in there and download it. This is what the cover looks like. It's right on the front when you log in. Okay. So let's talk about scripts. Okay. So I'm gonna get a little controversial here. Okay. We're gonna have a little bit of a debate. So get ready. The gloves are gonna come out, right? We're gonna have a strong debate. All right. Ron, are you ready? Yeah, he's on mute. Okay. So what's more important when it comes to prospecting and presenting? Is it the script or how you sound when you're using the script?
Are you asking me that question?
I'm throwing it out to anybody. This is an open this is open conversation right now. What's more important, the script or how you sound when you're using the script?
That is a tough one.
No,
It's leaning towards how you sound right now.
Yeah.
That's what my gut tells me it's how you sound.
Okay.
But the words are important. Not necessarily the fact that when you say script, if we're talking about referring to reading from a script, that's not important. Knowing what you're going to say and the way you say it is important.
Well, so a study was done many years back to determine this actual.
Oh,
I love that.
geez.
I love that.
And
That's why Beatty waited. I know it. He was waiting for what he was waiting. Go ahead.
that's right.
Throw me under the bus.
When you take the visual out, so it's all by phone, 14% of your conversion results is the words you use, and the remaining 86% is how you say them. So I would say that how you say what you say more than what you say is most important.
I love it. And if you want to actually hear that full training, and Beatty, by the way, Beatty and I don't know that this actually happened, but I actually do a full in-depth training on that very topic. So if you go into the masterclass, can you guys see my screen? Okay.
Yep.
Underneath where it says prospecting and sales secrets here, I have a full-blown training on this exact topic. And I start off with actually talking about how important it, when you take the visual away, how important conversion is by phone and how that breaks down. And Beatty's 100% right. That's exactly it. So say it one more time, Beatty. Say it one more time.
One more time.
Yep.
Okay.
Say, yeah. Smart Alec.
I know. So one more time. The net result is 14% of what you could accomplish on that phone call are the words that you say, and the 86% is based on how you say it. So that's your attitude, your excitement, your belief level, all those intangibles. That's what communicates across the line.
That's right. And here's why most agents, and I would say sales professionals in general, fail when it comes to prospecting, is they focus on the exact opposite. They spend most of their time focused on what is on the script and not tone, pace, hesitation, modulation. Now, here's the thing. I believe they're both extremely important, right? They're both very important, but if you had to pick one or the other, all right, if I could just kind of script this out, and again, coming from training literally close to 1,000 agents and inside sales on this topic, this is kind of what it looks like, okay, when prospecting starts to happen. Number one, they have no role play, and there's no role play environment happening. So, right, they're kind of on their own in a lot of cases. In some cases, we have that environment. By the way, if you don't have a role play environment, guess what we do every morning? If you want to plug into it, Christina, what do we do every morning?
We role play.
And you can join us in role play. We do it every single morning. You can join us.
8:15.
If you don't have that environment and you want that environment, join us, okay? It's fun. It's energetic. We have, there's no judgment at all. Join us. Awesome. Donnie says, my wife and I do that all the time. That's awesome. That's great. I love it. So here's the thing. When it comes to prospecting, we're focused on the script, and the script is important, but we got to shift our thinking because that's only 16% or so of converting. Let's just round it up to 20, 80-20 rule. Okay. The rest is how we sound, and it breaks down into different things. Okay. That's very, very important. It's the quality of your voice. It's the tonality of your pitch. Okay. It's your volume. It's your ability to judge your rate of speech. Okay. And the experts that are great at prospecting and great at having conversations over the phone. And let's be real, with COVID, are we having more conversations over the phone than we've ever had in our life? Most likely, when it comes to working with homeowners, right? So this is an extremely relative topic. Okay. So relevant topic. It's very, very important. And so here's how we break it down: tone, pace, hesitation, modulation. That's the core. And here's the thing: if you're not role playing with somebody else, or you're not recording yourself and doing that on a consistent basis, is our conversion gonna suffer? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Here's how quickly it can happen. So quickly, you could have a conversation. You could be saying something in the wrong tone. They could misinterpret what you're saying, right? And literally, you could break rapport and not even know it. So it's really, really, really important, right? And then, so this prospecting, if you want to take a deep dive into this training on, we call it mirror and matching. Okay. And so here's the thing: when you're prospecting and you're actually having a conversation, the first 30 seconds are the most important. Okay. And I want you to write this down: active listening. So you got to be queued up and listening to how they answer the phone. Even the tone of which they answered the phone, you should be paying attention to. Was it sharp? Was it more relaxed, right? Did they sound like they're in a hurry? Did they sound aggressive? Christina, why is it important to pay attention to how they answered the phone, and how they're responding to you in the first 30 seconds? Why is that important?
It sets up the way I'm going to approach the call. If they're sound rushed or hurried, and I'm like, "Hello, how are you today?" They're going to be like, "Listen, I'm in a hurry," and you've got to be prepared to go at their speed. And then when you get to a certain point, if necessary, you can actually pull them up to your speed or bring them down to your speed if they're going really fast, using your tone and your pace, hesitation, and modulation. Those are extremely important. And I know from the second the person says hello, pretty much the direction I'm heading in, which is why it's just so critical to listen right from the pickup of the call.
And I think Dvorka had a really good question. What does it mean by modulation? It's the control of and the strength of your voice. Okay. So for example, if Jonathan answers the phone and says, hello, right? And he's aggressive, I'm going to control the strength of my voice and try to mirror that somewhat to him. So if he says, hello, I'm going to, hello, right? I'm going to try to immediately mirror and match, right? That tone or
that energy.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's critical. It's very, very, very important to get that part right. More calls are lost in the first 30 seconds than any other part. They don't even have a fighting chance because we're so focused on the words. We're not focused on mirror and matching and understanding the importance of rate of speed, tone, and pace. So any questions before we move on to the next part here when it comes to building rapport and qualifying as being the first and the number one step. Paying attention to tone, pace, hesitation, modulation. The script's important. We're going to talk about that, but we got to sound good first, right? So any questions, thoughts, concerns, objections?
Isaiah, I just would like to interject. While we were doing our training this morning,
Yep.
you know, we're a pretty close group, and this is our own team. One of our prospectors was just having one of those days where he just felt like he couldn't win. So I said to him, I go, "Where's your script?" He goes, "It's right here." I said, "Take the script and throw it on the floor." He was like, "What?" And I said, "You are concentrating on the script too much. Because you know the words. You already know them. You've been doing this job for how long? You know what you're supposed to say. You
Yep.
need to focus on your tone and your pace, hesitation, and modulation, not so much the words." So that happened earlier today.
That's good. I think a great question came in. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it pronounced Ebenezer? Is that
Ebenezer? Yep.
Ebenezer. So Ebenezer, I think you asked a great question, and that's a tough answer because it depends on your audience, okay? And it depends if it's a first call, second call, or there's a couple different circumstances that that kind of change what you're going to be saying. So for a geographical lead that you've never spoke to before, I'll give you an idea what that would sound like, okay? So I want to talk, and I want to talk about the tone and pace, okay? A little bit of confusion in the tone. You'll notice this, and write this down. You'll notice a little bit of confusion in my tone, okay? You'll notice some deliberate hesitation because I don't want to sound salesy in my intro. So you're going to notice that almost like the best way I can explain it, this dude seems confused who he's calling, right? So, because I don't always have the name of the person. And even if I do have the name of the person, I don't know if it's the right name. I don't want to say the wrong name, right? Is that because, how about building rapport, right? Shot, right? Gone out the window, right? So here's how it would sound something like this. It would sound, and Christina, let's just pretend you're the homeowner, okay? And we'll just stop at the very beginning, okay? So ring, ring.
Hello?
Yeah, hello? Hello, can you hear me
Hello?
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Do you notice I didn't say where I was calling from in the first yet or anything like that? What did I say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Throw them off their game.
Why did I do that? Because I'm not going to go right into something. Number one, I do really want to know if they can freaking hear me. Because how many times, Christine, have you been in a pitch? They don't hear a word you're saying because the connection was bad or like there was a lag, right?
Yep,
so,
yep.
But also too, did I get her to interact with me already? She already gave me a yes response too. Yep, I can hear you. So I'm already getting her on the yes train from the first 30 seconds of the call, right? So little thing, but really important. So let's start back from the top. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great, awesome. So I'm a local realtor here. My name is Isaiah Colton, and just really quickly, I was just giving you a quick call because I'm actually working with a group of, I'm working with a buyer, and I'm having trouble finding a home in the area. And I'm just curious, is there any conditions which you would consider selling your home, or maybe somebody in the area would consider selling their home? Okay,
Definitely.
you can stop right there.
Okay.
We're going to get into it further. Another approach might be like this: to say a little bit more generic, right? A little bit more generic. And let's just say that I actually sold a house down the street. Okay. So hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. My name is Isaiah Colton. I'm a local realtor here, and I actually just sold a home down the street, and I just wanted to give you a call really quick just to see if you knew anyone else either thinking about selling a home, because I have actually a slew of buyers that came in and I don't have any properties in the area to send them to, is there any condition you would be willing to sell your home, or do you know anybody that would be open to selling their home in the near future?
Let me see.
You can stop right there. Okay. So the more you say it, the more you rep it out, it'll sound more natural. And I have this scripted. I don't even have the script open in front of me. I'm probably going to say it a little bit smoother because I have it scripted out, but you guys get the idea. And usually it's a yes or no answer, right? And it doesn't come across like you're trying to get them you're trying to solicit them to sell their home. And that's what's so important with the geographical lead. Okay. So I want to tell you a quick story. I don't remember his name, but he landed a $750,000 listing. All he did was call. He saw one of his hot leads in his queue were interacting with text and email in a database, and so he called, and he used the script that was similar. He just said, "Hey, I'm a local realtor, and I was just giving you a quick call because there's a lot of buying activity in the area, not enough inventory, and I'm just curious to see if you'd ever consider selling your home." And she goes, "It's funny you called me, because I actually was thinking about reaching out to agents like in a few days." He ended up getting a $750,000 listing off of that.
That was Gene out of Virginia.
Gene out of Virginia. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. And I want to give you guys a powerful close too. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. He actually used this as a close too. He said, "Look, she goes, well, he went through the whole process. He did the listing presentation. And then at the close, he goes, he was enrolling her, and she goes, well, I'd like to interview a few more agents, because you're the first person that I met with. And he said, hey, that's great, but let me ask you, who else do you know in the market that actually has the technology that I have, okay, that knew you were going to be selling your home even before you reached out to anybody to do it? Whoa. Nobody. Well, I'm also going to use that same technology, okay, to help attract people to your home. And she signed up on the spot. So really powerful close. I think it'd be cool to give that recording. There is some profanity in there because he's a rough guy, but I don't promote that, so I'm not, but I think it'd be a cool call for the audience to listen to, Jonathan, if you can bring that to the table next week. Okay.
So that
I can try to find it.
Is not part of the role play that y'all do.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't part of the role play.
We try to steer clear of that.
Right. So anyway, so we're at 2:09 here right now, and I want to just kind of wrap it up around 2:15. Again, we have about three more conversations we want to have when it comes to prospecting, presenting, and closing, because when you hear, especially when it comes to presenting and closing a geographical lead, that's something that's really important for this audience, I think. So just to kind of wrap up and summarize, when it comes to what we talked about, prospecting is a huge part of your multi-channel marketing approach. When it comes to scripts are important. But what's more important than scripts? How we sound, right? So when you're doing your intro, don't come across like a salesperson, right? Be casual, be confident, be cool. Casual, confident, cool, right? So maybe sound a little confused, like you're trying to get a hold of the right person, right? So anything else from our panel that you guys want to add in the next 5 minutes, and we'll leave the next 5 minutes open for any questions.
Isaiah, what I'd like to just suggest, we talk about scripts, and it was interesting that Christina told that young individual to throw it on the floor. And the reason being is that the script is a path, and a script will bring you to where you want to go. And it's important for you to have that 80% is to have that script internalized, so that when you're saying something, you're saying it in your own words, you're saying it because you believe in what you're saying, and it shows the confidence. And a quick story, when I was teaching agents years ago, we used to do this whole section on scripting and everything. And I get 5 volunteers to take the script home and memorize it, internalize it. And then the next day I'd ask them the questions or put them through just that scenario and have them, respond to me. And the 5 of them said the same thing 5 different ways. And that's the key. It's your personality that's going to get you that listing. And you're going to be friendly, confident, and you'll be able to say, is that all that's bothering you? Oh, not a problem. Let me make you feel more comfortable with that. And that's where it's at.
It also makes
Awesome.
you more genuine
Mm-hmm.
when you've internalized the script, because it gives it more of a personal feel. You're speaking from the heart, genuine.
The other
You
thing,
believe in what you're saying.
Yep.
one of the other things I found that I used to teach when I was teaching appointment setting is I call it the 3 S's, or at least the 3 ups. You stand up, speak up, and smile up. Because what happens is when you're standing, you project more. Use a headset, because I don't know if you noticed it, but when Isaiah was role playing with Christina, and he was going like this, and I sold a home over here, and he's using his arm motions, because as we talk, we normally go like this. And if you're stuck to a phone, you're boxed in. And the other thing is this, you'll see me. Actually, you won't. So tell me, I'm going to say that I'm going to call Isaiah real quick. Can you tell me which one is the most friendly? Ring, ring.
Hello.
Isaiah, this is Beatty. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right. Number 2, ring, ring.
Yep. Hello.
Isaiah, this is Beatty. How are you?
Oh, good, Beatty.
Yeah. So which
How are
one
you?
sounds better?
The second.
It's obviously the second. The only difference is a smile.
Right.
And so if you're going to do a lot of this, learn how to put a natural smile on your face. And if you don't know how, stand in front of a mirror and laugh and then freeze it and kind of figure it out so you can do it on demand.
Yep. That's really good. One of the things that I got in the habit of doing is, even if it was a fake smile, I'd go like this before I'd make the phone call, because immediately it'd make me sound better just by doing this. So it's really powerful. And these little things, Isaiah, that sounds kind of cheesy. Well, guess what? If it makes you an extra $6,000 a month, I'm gonna use these little techniques because they work, or $10,000 or $20,000 a month, because I'm able to get 2 or 3 or 4 listings that I couldn't get by mastering the art and science of prospecting. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the time to do it.
I want to share one last story. Many years back, Isaiah, you might be old enough, but I know that Ron is definitely old enough to remember this.
No, I'm not.
It's the
Poor
female
Ron.
voice. Welcome to AT&T. Okay.
Oh,
So
geez, yes.
I forget her name, but we had her on her training call, and her whole topic was having $1 million telephone voice. And she used this one comment. It's called a verbal virus. And this is the antithesis of everything that Isaiah is talking about. When you're not cool and calm, when you're not alert, when you have this very dull voice and no smile, all these things are verbal viruses that make people want to flee from you. So just watch out for those things.
That's good.
I remember when AT&T was singular.
Well, that's before my time. Sorry.
Oh, God.
1992.
Oh, well, okay. Well, it was Bell South down here, so.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're at 2:15. Any final questions, thoughts, anything that anyone wants to add? And then we got some action steps. We don't ever want to leave without having a few action steps, and we can go from there. So while everyone's thinking about their next question, I just want to talk through one thing. So try the program where you're loading data, and you develop a campaign where you can draw listings by assuming you already have buyers, right? You let that zip code know you have buyers in that area. So feel free to contact support. We'd be happy to help you out with that campaign. Utilize the artificial intelligence so you can target the hot leads, the leads that are more likely to sell, wanting to be selling in that geographical area. So that's number 1. Number 2, make sure that you engage in this Facebook tool. It is a huge part of a multi-channel marketing approach, where if you launch a Facebook ad campaign in front of the geographical leads, it's going to help dramatically with conversion, especially because we know what ones are hotter than others, and we can put those ads in front of those people. We have their email address, so Facebook will let us do that. Okay. And then also to just making sure that you're taking advantage of those hot ranked leads in your database and geographical farming, and you're using the full multi-channel marketing suite to convert them. Okay. We're there. Call your sales and marketing specialist to help you. We're there. Okay. It's not your traditional customer service. They are awesome sales and marketing specialists that know how to do marketing and know how to use our technology. Okay. And then finally, challenge yourself. Okay. And if it's not geographical farming, okay, do what we train our salespeople to do. Okay. Go out there and just challenge yourself or your team to go in there and commit to a certain amount of prospecting calls each day, and then come back and write your questions down. What are you running into, right? What's happening? How's it going? And if you get a little rejection, it's okay. It's part of the process. And I'll leave you with this. My mentor taught me this when I first started prospecting over 20 years ago now. Some will. It's called the SW principle, okay? Some will. Some won't. So what? Next. Okay? I'll say it again, and it takes the emotion out of it, okay? Some will. Some won't. So what? Next. Now, if you really want to get fancy with it, there's a fourth SW, and it's some will, some wait, some won't. So what? Next. And when I heard that, it just took the emotion out of it for me, right? And I said, now it's just about reps. It's just like karate or taekwondo. The more reps I get in it, the better I'm going to get. The more consistent I stay, the better I'm going to get. And your income or your team's income, if you're off the phone, if you're out of production, if you can get even one or two people, sold out on this, your results will skyrocket. They will skyrocket. I promise you, they will skyrocket. So with that, I hope everyone has an awesome rest of the week, and we'll post this training. Make sure you follow up on those action steps. Commit to prospecting, even if it's 10 contacts a day, just something little. And we'll see you next week. Have a good week, everybody.
See you.